Alright. So, I've talked about this convention before, Mimes. And, I'm going to tell this story now. So, I'm cosplaying Kurama for the first time at the convention. Like I said, I've mentioned this a couple of times. And you had to walk from where they had like the vendors gaming and even anime playing to where the panels and the maid cafe was being held. And I had a maid cafe reservation, so I was at the maid cafe. And while I'm at the maid cafe, it starts pouring rain. Now, I do have a hotel for this convention, and it is a very easy walk. However, there is no cover, like, over it, and it just starts pouring rain. So after the maid cafe is over, the convention's ended, but I had to go to the bathroom, so I quickly go to the bathroom. And while I'm there, I was like, I don't want to wear, I've been in my cosplay all day. And I have to do a walk. So I changed it to a t-shirt that I had brought and a pair of pants that I had brought with me, and I put my costume in. I kept my wig on. I actually took some pictures of that too. Because I was wearing a Yu Hakusho shirt, what was called Kurama. Anyway, I walked back out and it's pouring rain. And like, I don't want to go out in it. I don't think anybody wants to go out in it. But this place where the panels were being held, we're like, no, you need to leave, and you need to leave now because we're closed. And I'm like, we can't even stand under your awning. They would not let people stand under your awning either, that you had to leave the property. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but also you don't have to be that rude about it. It's pouring, like it's heavy. This isn't like a drizzle. This is like rain. And I'm like, okay, you're going to make me walk in it. So I was like, okay, set my bag down, and I start rearranging my bag, and I pull my wig off. And like a girl sees me doing this, she's like smart. So she starts, taking pieces that she can't afford to get wet either. And of course I grab my umbrella, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to just walk. I gotta get out of here. They're being rude. And like, people aren't listening to them. Like, I also want to stay inside and not get wet. I hate being wet like that, like not voluntarily. It's like, So I walk. I'm glad that I actually put my cosplay actually in the bag. So it's not a full cosplay store, but like I was in cosplay and almost had to walk in the rain with this. It's not the first time I walked in rain, but like it was a shorter walk. Like, umbrella was open for like 5 minutes. It's like a 3-minute, 5-minute walk. This was a little bit further, and I actually had no idea where this hotel actually fully was. I was actually meeting family there, and I was like, okay, there's 2 hotels. I was like, which one is it? And like we said, it's kind of heavy rain, and so as my vision's not going good, my umbrella flew up, and it was like, are you serious? And started breaking it. Like, people were staring at me. I was like, yeah, just stare at me. And I eventually did get to my hotel partially wet, really cold, and hungry. And I was like, I want a shower and I want food. I want food and then shower. And they're like, why don't you shower first? Because we're going to take a while before we look at it. I said, no, if I shower, I'm not going anywhere. So we're going to get food now. Well, I'm getting food now. So we went and got me food, and then I took a shower and stay warmed. But like, I had to walk in the rain, and I was like, that's like one of my biggest fears, the walk in rain in a cosplay, because like, some of my cosplays can't afford to get wet. Some of them, it's like, okay, yeah, I can walk in the rain with it on. Anyway, that was my walking to the hotel in rain. Like I said, I've walked in it before and had an umbrella, but like, I also was allowed to stay in the convention and wait it out. But like, this place was like kicking us out. So that was my walking to the hotel in the rain's story. Alright, so the next story I have to say, like, before anything about this, when I first started cosplaying, I actually didn't wear makeup. Like, I wasn't a makeup person. Like, I liked makeup, but I never put on makeup. actually wear makeup now, as she might be able to tell. I don't know. I don't know what if people can tell. People have makeup on or not. But I still don't do a lot of makeup. Like, I don't contour, I don't highlight really, I don't bronze, I don't... You're lucky if I put on blush, okay? But, I do put makeup on now. When I first started cosplaying, I actually didn't wear makeup. No foundation, no concealer. If I wore anything, it was some eyeshadow and a lipstick. That was about it. So, I know I was cosplaying at the time, and during at the con, there was a booth for homemade makeup, and I just wanted to look at it because it's really pretty. I just was like, and I saved and said that, I was like, it's so pretty, but I don't wear a lot of makeup, and even when I do makeup I do have, I don't wear it a lot. I literally only wore it at the time a couple times a year. And they're like, oh yeah, no. But I don't know how we got on the conversation. I have freckles. I have so many freckles. They're all over my face. Might not be able to tell with my foundation and stuff on. It kind of calms them down. But like, I have freckles and they are everywhere on there. And we're talking, and I was like, yeah, and I'm like, and I was talking, and like I said, I don't know how I got into the conversation, but I don't like my freckles. They're cute on other people. That's you think. I don't like freckles on me. I just don't like freckles. And all I know is I was talking to the lady who owns the makeup booth because we're talking about it, and a random person just runs up to me. They just run up and go, don't say that, you're so cute, your freckles are so cute. And then they run off again, and I'm just like, what? And they're like, yeah. So like, there was a person there that was very much into my freckles, and they loved them so much they had to tell me. And I was just like, I don't know what to do with that information, which is hilariously because, funnily enough, same year, not even a cosplay, I wasn't even wearing makeup. I was on a plane home from visiting family, and the guy behind us mentioned that he said, your freckles are very cute. He said, however, you probably don't like them. And I was like, yeah, but like, it seems, but he also told me that he had saw me earlier in the day, like, eating at a restaurant with my family because my mom took me out to eat right before I left for the airport for one last, like, meal with them, and then he had saw me there, so he was from his hometown, which is, like, insane because it's entirely, you're really small. But, like, that whole year, I had people complimenting my freckles, and I was like, people usually compliment my hair here is very long, and not my freckles though. So I was like, that's okay. But like I said, I now wear makeup to cover my freckles. So sorry to the person who liked my freckles. I still don't like them. So yeah. That was his story. Alright. Next story. This is actually very, like, recent for me. From the moment I'm telling this story. I actually never have dealt or even really seen protesters at conventions. I know they show up. I actually know that one of the conventions I go to has a lot of protesters out front. I don't know why protesters are protesting conventions other than they're weird, crazy, religious people. And like, that's not me saying religion is crazy because I'm religious. I'm Christian technically, but like, this makes me go, I don't know these people. I'm not in the same religion with them. So, you know, because I don't understand it. And I've seen them close to an entrance, so I always go to the other entrance of the big convention. But this was a small convention, and this happened not too long ago. And it's a small convention. This is like year 3 of it going, so like this is the first time it's ever actually had protesters that I know of. And I go there early in the morning on the first day 1. Very short line, and I'm like, okay, that's weird, but also there I see these two guys, and one of them, I don't know why he had a megaphone. His voice was loud enough without it, and he was angry sounding, and I had to walk past, and I'm like, oh no. And I had to stay close to him. I'm like, oh no. So I get there, and he's yelling, and he's screaming, and I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what he wanted us to believe. Because from what I understood, gay people are bad, women are horrible and bad people, and so are children. They're the devil. Women share temperatures, and children are evil fun. And I was like, but you also don't like homophobe. You don't like gay people. But you want a world only be with men. I'm like, in my head, I'm freaking out because like tone level is like scary to me. It's high. He's angry, yelling into a megaphone. And I didn't have to stand out there for long. Thankfully, the owner of the convention, he came out and he started rushing people in. And he was like, I believe you have a ticket here to take ticket. If you don't have a ticket, go this way. But I need you, if you have a ticket, you bought your ticket, I don't even need to see proof. Just here's the ticket. I actually asked them, I was like, did you want to see proof? He's like, nope, I need you in here. I need you in and away from these people. Because he was trying to give the convention goers away from these racy people. Which I don't blame them. They were very scary, and like there was small children. This is this is a convention, and this is an all AIDS convention. This is not like a 18 and up convention. This is not an adult convention. This is aimed towards the younger years. But like it was one of those, it's just like that was scary. And when I got home, I was like, he was yelling that he hates women and children and gay people, but he made it sound like he only wanted a world of men, that men were the only good things. And I'm like, there was an easier way to say that you're gay and you're angry about it than to yell at random people. Like there was easier way to do that. So that was my protest story. That is the only story I have with protesters. Like I said, I've had people who like seem like they're protesters, but they're like they're more of a survey takers. Like they're like, hey, can you sign this survey? And I was like, which is great, by the way, because like people standing online and it's like, yeah, tell me about your thing. Oh, that does sound good. Let me sign that. Like, that is an easy way to get signatures, by the way. I've signed many a protesting form while standing in line for a convention. But, like, protesters don't make sense, especially when they're yelling and screaming death threats to you and in front of children. It's like, this is a bit mostly for children, with children dressing up, and you're going to threaten them. Threaten, because you are threatening. And I'm like, this is insane. I don't understand protesters. Like I said, first time I actually had live interaction with them, I've actually seen them like when I was walking a bridge from the hotel was connected to the convention center, and I was walking the bridge. I've actually looked down and they were there. And like I've seen later on like video of people like making fun of them and trying, and stuff like that. And it's like, don't mess with the protesters. Don't just leave them alone. They're crazy people. Like, legitimately, I think they're legitimately crazy people. Like, but they would attack you. So, like, don't mess with protesters. They're cuckoo. They're insane. And, like, I have a religious family, and, like, I tell them that I cosplay and stuff, and they're just like, oh, that's interesting. They don't understand it, like, they also don't condemn me. I'm not a devil worshiper for dressing up in a costume and stuff like that. Like, they don't believe that. Like, it's like the crazy people who like Halloween is evil and bad. And it's like, dude, it's a time for kids to dress up and get candy. That's all it is. Duh. Anyway, that was my protester story. Alright, next convention story. So this one is kind of a more like, hey, really rest, drink your water, get sleep, shower, please, for the love of God, shower when you're going to conventions, wear deodorant, but mostly eat and hydrate, big things, and this is where my story takes place. So, this is the first time, like, one of the first times that I'm at the convention by myself. And, like, I've mentioned it before, I think, in another story time, that I plan my conventions. Like, I schedule my conventions. This is when I'm going to this panel. This is when I'm going to walk around. What I then say was, like, I actually say, this is when you eat. Drink so much, you have to, for all day, you have to drink so much water because of this story. So, years before, I had family with me. And they were always like, let's sit down and rest. And so I would sit down and rest. And they would always push food on me to eat. And like, so I always ate. I was always hydrated. I was always resting with them. But this is the first convention I was by myself. So like, I kind of just forgot to do that. This is day one of the convention. And I am excited. So, like, I'm running around. I don't want to set. Who wants to set? I want to go over there. I want to go over here. I want to go to do this and that and da-da-da. And I get home, and it's, like, midnight. And I realize I haven't eaten a single thing. And I'm hungry. So my family, my aunt, she's like, I'll get you something to eat. Why don't you sit down? And I sit down, and I went, oh. And I, was telling her, and as I'm telling her the story of, like, the first day, she's like, you're tired. I was like, yeah, I am, but I'm also hungry. Also, I can't get up for some reason. And, like, she brings me food. And she sits down, she's talking to me, and I'm taking my shoes and socks off at this point. And she looks at my legs, and she goes, your legs are swollen. How much did you sit down today? And I went, I had spent over 12 hours on my feet. 12. Over 12. And, did not sit down. Didn't rest my feet. My legs were swollen. And she's like, well, how much water did you have? And you didn't eat. No. I was young as well. I was, early 20s. But let's just say I was so excited I forgot. So I made sure every year after that, bring a water bottle. Fill it with water. Your goal is to drink that whole bottle by the end of the day. I have drunk 2 or 3 of those bottles during a convention. A day. But I always put down, you must sit down and rest, and you're going to eat at this time. This is time to go get food. And like, people look at me like I'm crazy when I say that, but like, I have to do a schedule. Otherwise I forget to eat. I forget to, and after convention is done, I always shower because like you were with a bunch of people and you don't know if they were sick or not, and you interacted with them. So shower. Also, if you were sweaty, and gross and you need deodorant shower. Because I've smelled some of you. It's not good. And perfume does not cover it. Cologne does not cover it. So, the story was more like I said, please hydrate, please eat, please rest, and for the love of all things that it's holy, please shower. Okay? You good? Alright. So, my next convention story. The next convention story is actually 3 different stories, but I labeled it as ticket troubles. So, for a lot of conventions, there's a pre-registration date, like where you can go and pick up your tickets the day before the convention starts. So this is my big convention, and I go and this is a year that my aunt and uncle started coming back to conventions with me. But so when I go to pick up my tickets, I'm supposed to have 3 weekend passes and 1 VIP pass. And I pick up my tickets. I do my any prop checks I need to do, so on and so forth. I get in the car, and as I'm sitting in the car, I'm getting the tickets out to give to them, and I was looking, and I only have 2 weekend passes and a VIP pass, and I'm like, that's not right. I need another weekend pass, because you have to have a weekend pass and a VIP pass for the VIP pass to work. And I bought 3 weekend passes. So I go upstairs and I'm like, hey, I'm missing a weekend pass. And they're like, what? And so I tell them, I said, yeah, I have 2 weekend pass. I said, I bought 3 weekend passes and a VIP pass. And I said, I only have 2 weekend passes and a VIP pass. And I show them my ticket and everything, and they're like, okay. Now, all of these people are volunteers, so I don't blame the volunteers. I think there was miscommunication. So she goes and she, because she was one of the prop people, so she goes to the ticket booth, and the ticket booth, I guess they go, it takes a while. They come back and she's like, well, they went and talked to the people, and they're like, I guess it changed or something, because even though on the VIP passes you need the weekend pass, they're like, I guess we changed it, well, you only need the VIP pass. And I'm like, okay, cool, that's kind of cool. And whatever. So I go back to my vehicle, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I don't need it. I was like, so my aunt and uncle don't plan on coming on Friday, because the pickup day was on, they don't plan on coming on the first day. They plan on coming day 2 and 3, but they bought the week pass because it's cheaper. So, or they don't plan on coming early in the morning. I'm coming early in the morning on day 1. So, day 1 arrives. I'm in full costume. I don't even remember what I was wearing that year. But I get there and I only have the VIP pass, because that's the only one that they gave me. They didn't give me a weekend pass. I asked about it, remember? So I go up to go through, like, the badge check. Like, they check your, like, not the bags. Your badge, because they have checkpoints for those to make sure you have a ticket. And I go up and they're like, where's your weekend pass? And I said, they didn't give me one. And they're like, you need a weekend pass. And I said, I asked about this yesterday. And they're like, well, no, you need to go down there and get a weekend pass. And I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, we didn't give weekend passes to any of the VIPs. And I was like, boy, pre-registration is a time so you don't have to go stand in the long line on day 1. So I have to walk down all these stairs, go across a long room to go and get my weekend pass. Fine, whatever. I had to stay down line for a little bit. I'm angry about that, but it's whatever. It's a one-time fluke, I thought. The next year, the very next year, same convention, I'm doing the same thing. I'm picking up 3 weekend passes, 1 VIP pass. I check the tickets as soon as I get them. And then I go, I'm missing a ticket. I'm And they're like, what? And I said, I'm supposed to have 3 weekend passes, 1 VIP pass. And they're like, no, you have a VIP pass, you're good to go. Are you sure? Yeah. I asked this last year, you guys said you were sure, and then I came the day of convention, and they sent me all the way to the ticket booth. I'm going to be upset with you all if I have to do this again. No, we're sure. You're good to go. You don't need that weekend pass. Okay. Next day, like I said, they're not coming early on day 1 if they're coming on day 1 at all. I come in. I go straight for the gate. Where's your weekend pass? What are you talking about? Your weekend pass. Where is it? I don't have one. They didn't give me one. I asked them about this. We need to go downstairs and get your weekend pass. I've paid over almost $200 for this. Are you telling me you're not just giving me my passes now? Like, what is this? I am mad. As mad as I can actually be. And I don't take it out on the volunteers, but like, I am angry because you know you're passing out VIP passes without the weekend pass. You should let your little guards, your little volunteers that are standing at the gate, have some passes to give to the VIP pass, because you know they've already bought their ticket and you know you didn't give it to them. So I had to walk back down, and I did. I complained. I said, this happened last year, this happened this year, and if it happens next year, I might not come back. And I love this convention. Like, I love the volunteers, I love people, I love everything about it. But like, it's so frustrating because I came the day before, did a long drive to come here to pick up my tickets. So I don't have to stand in a long line. I didn't even stand in that line. I actually cut in front of somebody, I think. And I was like, I'm just here for my ticket because they sent me to come get it. But also, why would you do this? And they're like, we are so sorry. It was miscommunication. By the way, never happened again. It hasn't happened for a few years. But I'm telling you, like, so my 3rd ticket's trouble because this is a different convention. It's the first time this convention is ever happening. And we've bought, I'm picking up tickets. I'm paying 2, 3 one-day passes and 1 weekend pass for this convention. It's the first day. This convention is not a pre-registration. So me and my aunt are standing in line because I'm going to hand her the one-day passes to her, and she's going to take them. She's going back at the hotel. She's going to give one to my uncle. She has one for her, and I had a cousin that was going to come in later in the day to go to this convention with us. And then I had the weekend pass for me because I'm coming not only that day but the next day. I go and the fellow in here, she scans my tickets. She scans all 4 of them, and she hands me 3 one-day passes. And I went, where's my weekend pass? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, shows her. I was like, I have 4 tickets, 3 one-day passes, 1 weekend pass. Oh, so she scanned my weekend pass. Again, it's already been scanned. Well, yeah, you scanned it. You just didn't hand it to me. And it's early in the morning, and she just wants to argue with me. And I was like, I'm not leaving this line. We have a long line behind me. I ain't leaving until you give me my weekend pass because I bought it. The one-day tickets, I handed it to my aunt. I was like, go on. I'm standing right here until you give me my weekend pass. Which eventually she went, and gave to me. But it was like, hand it and hand me the ticket. Scan it, hand me the ticket if that's the way it case. But like, don't try to cheat me out on my convention ticket. And I don't know what was wrong with her. But anyway, those were my ticket trouble stories. So, my next story time is about a book review I did at a convention. The important part, that's why it's a convention story. So, I was at a convention, and there was an artist there, and they had just made their very first manga, graphic novel, whatever you want to call it. I think it was a manga technically, but I bought it because it looked interesting, sounded interesting, and I had talked to this artist multiple times, and they've been like telling me about their work, like telling me about this story for a couple of years at this point. So when it was finally released, I was super excited about it, and I was like, yes, I need to buy it. So I bought it. She even signed it for me, and I went home and I read it. Like, I started reading it that day, and I finished reading it, and I go there, and I am in a closet cosplay that day. I literally thought of this character, like, to do this character that night. Like, the night before, I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And I guess it didn't look like it was in cosplay. Thanks, but I was. And, I go to them and I'm like, yeah, I read it. And they're like, okay, can we record you doing a book review? And I was like, sure. So there is a video out there of me giving a book review of this manga. And I really wish I knew where this person was, because they were a good artist as well. Like, they were mostly a jewelry maker and stuff. They made handmade soaps and stuff. And they started making animation, and like, their animation is gone. I cannot find them. Their Facebook is still up, and it's called Dragon Spice. And I do have the manga still, and it's still a good manga. The art is good and everything. The story is good, and I love it. So that was my time I did a book review, and the only time I've ever did a review of any kind in a convention. And then I want to tell this last story with this video, because this is the last story that I have right now. Again, I may have more in the future, and if I do, I'll have a different wig on and a different shirt on, because I record them all at the same time. So this one is, I was watching some conflict videos and convention videos last night, the other night, and they mentioned going to a convention early, and I was like, I've been to conventions really early. The earliest I'd been, it was like 2 or 3 hours before the convention started, and it was because my ride had a meeting they had to go to, so I wasn't in full cosplay. I actually just had the clothing on, but like the pieces for it and the hair, because I was using my natural hair for this character, wasn't ready. And I ended up going to a Starbucks for the very first time. Like, I had been in a Starbucks before for other people, but like never for me. And I ordered some food, and I ate food at the Starbucks. I got ready in the Starbucks, and then walked over to the convention, not even fully ready at the time. I got like a little bit more ready and put together. It's like, got to the convention, and it's still early, but as soon as the convention over, I rushed into the bathroom to finish getting into my cosplay. I wasn't in my cosplay, and to make sure everything looked correctly, I actually got ready. I had a little pocket mirror to put my makeup on. I was sitting at a chair just beside the entrance to get my makeup on. People actually was watching me put my makeup on and like get ready, and they're like, oh, you're cosplaying? And it's like, yeah, I wish I had time to do it at home, but like, I had to be here super early, and I was like, I was going to eat before, so like, here I am eating, and I have my cup of tea, because I don't drink coffee. And I was like, well, now, and it's getting closer, I should probably put makeup on and like fix my hair, like, and I had fixed my hair at first, and then I was putting my makeup on, and so on and so forth. But like, again, not the first time. Like that same weekend, I had to get there a little bit early as well. Again, I had to sit inside the convention building, but not the convention actual area where the convention was held. And I was sitting at a table, and like, I ate my breakfast, and then I put my makeup on at this table and finished getting ready. And like that, those were the times that I was very early to conventions. Which was, it was kind of weird, because like, people are looking at you while you're putting your makeup on, and pulling out a wig if you needed, things like that, jewelry and whatever have you that you need for the convention. And it's just like, oh, look at me while I'm still getting ready. And you can't get to the bathrooms because they're behind the lines that are like, the convention's not open. I've literally had to beg someone. I was like, the bathroom is right there. I need the bathroom. Which, by the way, from after that, like I've noticed, like last time I was at the convention, they had pushed that entranceway back so that bathroom was in a free open area. Meaning, if the convention wasn't open and you were in this area, which is fine, you could go to that bathroom. It was not behind a checkpoint anymore. This bathroom was free of checkpoint. And I was like, yeah. But also, you can't go into either of these entrances by it. You actually have to go for the checkpoints areas to get to this area nowadays. So, but like, yeah, no, like I said, the other time that I had access, like, I have conventions closed. I understand the conventions not open, but I really have to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom is right there. Can I go and do it? Yeah, go on. But like this time, like that was after. By the way, I've done that a couple times since. Like, I need to go to the bathroom, because sometimes the places that I have that I've been didn't have a bathroom before, and it's like, or I did a long drive, and it's like, bathroom's just right there. You can watch me walk right to it. But yeah, getting ready in public is kind of a fun story. But that's my cosplay story times, my convention story times that I have for now. And we'll hopefully see you sometime in the future.